Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu Coffee Break German.
Welcome to the Coffee Break German Show. Ich bin Marc.
Ich heiße Thomas.
Wie geht's dir, Thomas?
Sehr gut, danke Marc. Ich freue mich auf unsere 10 neuen Folgen.
10 new episodes in this new season of the Coffee Break German Show. And in these weekly episodes, we're helping you improve your German, build your German one coffee break at a time.
Please remember to follow us and subscribe to our podcast wherever you get your podcast from. Or if you're watching this as a video, please also subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Okay, so in this series, Thomas is our German teacher. I am learning German along with you. So Thomas, was lernen wir heute? What are we learning today?
Oh, wir sprechen über den Unterschied zwischen wo, where und wohin, where to. So is it a location or a destination?
Excellent. So, bist du bereit?
Ich bin bereit.
Los geht's. So, wo and wohin?
Yes, and it determines actually quite a lot in German because if you're talking about a location, wo, you need to use the dative.
Right.
But if you're talking about a destination, a place where something or you are going to, you have to use the accusative.
So, not all our learners will be at the same level. And if you are wondering what is the dative and what's the accusative, obviously we've got lots of episodes of Coffee Break German to help you on that with some basic introductions to cases. But cases are basically different ways of referring to nouns and articles and adjectives and so on. And they're dependent on certain things.
Very, very well explained. Yes, Mark. So they can depend on what kind of verb you use. They can depend on a preposition that you use. But in this case, we're talking about they depend on a location or a destination. And it's something that actually comes up a lot when you talk about German because you're talking about places where you're going to. You're talking about places where you might meet people. So it's a very interesting and then a very, very important topic to talk about.
Absolutely. I think possibly some contextualization, some examples will help us here.
Yes, so very easy if I ask you, wo bist du? Then,
where are you?
Exactly. Then I'm asking about a location. Where are you? What's the place where you are?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But in German, if I ask, wohin gehst du?
So where are you going to? We need that to in German, or the wohin in German.
Exactly.
But in English, we can get away with just saying, where are you going? And that's probably where the complication arises.
I think so, because in English, you don't make that very distinct difference between wo, where, and wohin, where to.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes hard to, I think, understand that it's so important in German to separate these two.
Okay, let's take a look at some examples of talking about where particular things are or where they're moving towards.
Gute Idee. So, das erste Beispiel ist, dein Schlüssel liegt auf dem Küchentisch.
So, dein Schlüssel, your key, liegt, literally lies,
Ja.
auf dem Küchentisch, on the kitchen table.
Perfekt.
Okay, so in that situation, it's not moving. It's not moving towards the kitchen table. It's lying on the kitchen table.
Genau.
Okay.
So, we're talking about the location here. Where is it? Where is it right at this moment?
And you said auf dem Küchentisch. Now, dem immediately makes me think of a dative.
Genau.
Okay.
Because we said locations always require the dative.
Mm-hmm.
So because we're talking location, we say auf dem Küchentisch. And Küchentisch is masculine, so we need dem.
Yeah. Normally, the kitchen table would be der Küchentisch, yeah? The kitchen
genau.
table.
Masculine.
But this der changes to dem because we're using a dative case here. Auf dem Küchentisch.
Richtig. If we look at a different example, maybe a destination, we could also say, ich lege die sauberen Klamotten auf das Bett.
So Klamotten are clothes, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And sauberen Klamotten are the clean clothes, yeah?
Yes, they've probably just tried and now somebody's putting them auf das Bett.
So when they're getting put on the bed, surely that's where they're going to be. That's the location.
Where they are going to be. You just said it.
Oh, yeah.
They are not there yet. They're going to be there.
To be, so there's direction involved. So
Exactly.
give us the whole sentence again.
Ich lege die sauberen Klamotten auf das Bett.
So, ich lege die sauberen Klamotten. So I am putting the clean clothes auf das Bett, on the bed.
Genau.
And it's das Bett, and that is accusative.
Yes, so it doesn't change the article.
Yeah.
For neuter nouns, das Bett, in the accusative, it doesn't change, so it stays das Bett.
And if it were dative, if your key was lying on the bed, it would be auf dem Bett.
Genau, sehr gut.
Okay, right. That makes sense.
So we see how important it is here because your article always needs to adjust.
Yeah.
Determining is it a dative, is it a location, or is it a destination and the accusative.
So Thomas, I've got a question for you. If we said, where is your key?
Wo ist dein Schlüssel?
Wo ist dein Schlüssel? So in the case of where are you putting the clothes, would you use wohin?
Genau, you can put the hin actually at the end. So you can say, wo legst du die Klamotten hin? Or you can say, wohin legst du die Klamotten? But you need that hin.
The hin. Yeah, you need the hin because there is movement involved. There's a change of location and so on.
Genau, perfekt. Noch ein Beispiel?
Noch ein Beispiel, ja.
Alles klar. Die Rehe leben im Wald.
The Rehe is like a deer.
Ja, sehr gut,
Right,
genau.
okay. So die Rehe, deer, the plural, or is it singular?
Yeah,
no,
no,
it's a
because we
plural
say
verb.
yeah.
Leben, yeah. So die Rehe leben im Wald, they live in the forest.
Genau. What do you think, a destination or a location?
That's a location. Because
Genau.
they live in the wood, and I'm seeing im Wald, which will be like in dem Wald.
Genau, it's another masculine noun, der Wald.
Yeah.
So again, it changes to dem, but our in dem just merges to im.
Im. Okay, so die Rehe leben im Wald. So wo leben die Rehe?
Perfekt. Im Wald.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Okay, another example from the world of forest animals.
Okay.
Der Fuchs rennt in seinen Bau unter der Erde.
Was bedeutet Bau?
Burrow.
Oh, right. Okay, so der Fuchs is the fox, rennt in seinen Bau. He runs in his burrow unter der Erde, under the earth.
Almost perfect, but because we say in seinen Bau, he's running into his burrow.
Yes, so
because we have an accusative here. Genau.
So wohin rennt der Fuchs?
Ja.
So where is the fox running to?
In seinem Bau,
In
into
seinem
his burrow.
Could we have said, if the fox were running around in his burrow, would that be der Fuchs rennt in seinem Bau?
Yeah, and it's just a slight change that we say seinem for the dative instead of seinen. So this one letter makes the difference.
Yeah.
Is he running into his burrow or is he running around inside his burrow?
Yeah, I remember in Coffee Break German season 2 where Andrea was always talking about dancing around inside a hall or dancing into the hall.
Yes, genau.
So do check that out if you're looking for that. We'll put a link in the lesson notes for this one. Let's do another example.
Okay. Maybe something that's not like definitely a location like a table or a forest.
Yeah.
We could say, wir treffen uns bei meinen Eltern.
Wir treffen uns bei meinen Eltern. So we'll meet at my parents' house, but meine, but it's plural there. So meinen.
Genau, yeah.
Is that dative?
Yeah. And you said it right because it's plural. We
Yeah.
have the en for the dative here.
So where are we meeting us, ourselves? Wo treffen wir uns?
Yeah, genau, perfect.
Bei meinen Eltern.
So you can always ask the question if it works like where are we meeting, not where to are we meeting.
Yeah.
And even so we are not actually there yet, we're still talking about the location where something is coming together,
Yeah.
where our meeting place is.
So if it were accusative, it would be meine Eltern.
Ganz genau, for example, ich sehe meine Eltern.
Yeah,
I see my parents.
Okay.
Ja, sehr gut. Vielleicht noch ein Beispiel für ein Akkusativ für Destination. Am Samstag gehen wir auf ein Konzert.
So that feels quite natural because we're going to a concert.
Genau,
so
ja.
Am Samstag gehen wir auf ein Konzert. So that's an accusative there because we're going to that. Where are we going to? Wohin gehen wir am
Auf
Samstag?
ein Konzert.
Yeah.
Genau, perfekt.
Okay, good. Do these rules always work?
Yes, so if you talk about a location, you have the dative. If you talk about a destination, you have the accusative. However, there are two prepositions that are used to talk about destinations.
Yeah.
Wohin, but they still take the dative. And that's the preposition zu.
Right.
So we say it like zu meinen Eltern, to my parents. So we're talking about the destination, but still it's the dative because zu always uses the dative.
That's good to know. Yeah. And you said there are two. So what's the other one?
Sehr gut. And the other one is nach.
So nach, does that also use the dative?
Yes, and again, it's only used for destination. We've seen it in examples like nach Berlin, nach Spanien. However, it's a little bit less important than zu because it's used without an article. So you don't need to worry that much. Is it the dative? Is it the accusative? Because you say nach Berlin, nach Spanien, but it still uses the dative. You just don't really see it because you don't have an article.
So have I not seen like nach dem something?
Yes, when you were talking about temporal information, so time. So if you say nach dem Essen oder nach dem Aufstehen, so after the meal or after getting up, and then it uses that dative because you see the article, but it's not used in the context of a destination.
Yeah, because nach can mean both to in that direction, but also after. When we're talking about time. Good. Okay, let's do a little summary of what we've covered today, because we've been talking about wo and wohin, two question words, one meaning where and the other one meaning where to. And in this sense, we need to think about cases.
Yes, because they really show you what or indicate what case do you have to use. If it's the location wo, you have to use the dative. If it's the wohin, where to, the destination, then you have to use the accusative.
Sehr gut.
Alles klar.
We hope that you have enjoyed this lesson. It certainly helped me clarify things in my head about datives and accusatives. One thing to mention is that particularly when we're considering the difference between meinen and meinem, sometimes it really helps to see things written down.
Yeah.
And funny you should say that, Mark, because we've got a blog article that will help to explain all of this, and you'll see the written examples on that blog article. So do head over to the article to find out a little more about datives and accusatives with wo and wohin, and we'll put a link in the description of the podcast to help you find that.
Also, if you would like more help with your German and receive regular emails about all kinds of topics, go and visit coffeebreaklanguages.com/German and sign up to our weekly emails.
You will indeed receive an email very soon if you do that, and you'll be able to do a little bit of German learning straight out of your inbox. For now, that's it. But next time, we're going to take this a little further, aren't we?
Yes, so today we talked about the difference. Next week, we're talking about the different prepositions that we use for different places. Okay. So what do we use when we're talking about the sea, and what do we use if we talk about a concert? Because we've seen lots of them, but we've not really talked about why we use in, auf, or an.
Okay.
So that's next week.
Sounds good. Looking forward to that. For now, vielen Dank, Thomas.
Sehr, sehr gerne.
Vielen Dank und bis zum nächsten Mal.
Happy coffee breaking.
You have been listening to a Coffee Break Languages production for the Radiolingua Network. Copyright 2024 Radiolingua Limited. Recording copyright 2024 Radiolingua Limited. All rights reserved.